Hey everyone, it's Shade Man Crypto. Please like the video. Thanks for watching. So let's get right into it, man. Bitcoin is trading at 110,000. Okay, I mean, look, it had a dip over the weekend, or at least yesterday. It dipped back down to a low of 106. What about 106,000, right? Okay, with the trading volume being about only 46 billion, and then we're back up to 110 with the volume jumping to about, well, when it got up to 110, the volume definitely spiked up to 50 billion. And currently we're at a 53 billion volume right now. Okay, so very interesting considering that, just a week ago, we jumped up to all new all-time highs, basically 112,000, but the volume almost doubled at a point from where we were for currently where we are now, where the volume was in the 90 billions of range. So with basically being close to all time high, back to being close to all time high with the volume relatively being low compared to where it was when it broke all time highs, and we're getting close back to it at 54 billion, is pretty impressive, right? So I mean, look, are we headed towards what, 120, 125,000 maybe? Who knows where we'll go in the next couple of weeks? It seems like the let's see, is the stock market doing well? Maybe the stock market's doing good. I haven't had a chance to check how the S&P is doing. Let's see here. For the most part, yeah, the S&P is looking pretty good. Right now, it seems like the markets have rebounded after a holiday break, and not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. Look, we're in the fear and greed index overall. The fear and greed index is actually pretty mild. If you take a look at it, man, only a 68. So we're not in really complete greed territory. I mean, last week was 68. So I mean, this is still, people are still very cautious. And the news that people are talking about is that, like, the Bitcoin breaking new all-time highs, it really didn't shatter like mainstream news like that, right? We're really not in that euphoric phase. So bull market is obviously still intact. I'm sure we're gonna get massive volatility, obviously, because people are still gonna be liquidating. Obviously, you see here there was some liquidations that took place here. Okay, I'm sure once we broke to 12,000, 112,000, we started to dump, and drop all the way down. Right, not that bad of a dump. Okay, volume is still relatively good, which I like. So I look, man, this bull market for Bitcoin, I mean, we got a long ways to go. Obviously, people will have end of year target dates, and I mean, at this point, I mean, could Bitcoin truly reach 400,000 at this point? Right, right. When we truly enter that euphoric phase, and everybody jumping in, and one of FOMO, that is the part when everybody and their grandma starts talking about this shit coin, that shit coin. Um, you know, I think, and then retail wants to start FOMOing in. But I mean, this market, I don't know if retail is really gonna feel this, but retail will definitely have a play in this in terms of them adding money to the overall crypto space, especially in Bitcoin. As Bitcoin is obviously just getting more mainstream adoption, or at least more institutional adoption, as companies are building platforms, and financial institutions are building platforms to allow Bitcoin to be part of their asset and part of a selling tool that, hey, you can come join our financial business, whatever, and we offer crypto services, especially in Bitcoin, and retirement services are going to start offering Bitcoin, if not haven't doing that already. But more mainstream financial institutions are going to probably be doing that. That's going to spike the money up. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Okay, obviously there's gonna be some massive volatility, like I said, but I mean, I look, it's not far fetched to when you start hearing these numbers that could be 150,000 by the end of the year. That sounds a little mild, right? Just because we're still a little over a year past the halving, and I know people still talk about the Bitcoin, the 4 year cycle in Bitcoin, every 4 years. After the halving, 80 weeks after the halving, whatever it is, we have a stall summer, we run up in the fall, boom, bear market, and that's still on the table, right? But could the bear market look different than what people think it typically has been, right? If Bitcoin has this massive run up to $400,000, by the end of the year. Could the bear market low of Bitcoin be 120, 150,000, right? Very possible that, the bear market lows, depending on how high Bitcoin run up, that could be the new baseline. 110,000 could this be the new bottom going forward, right? With the amount of money from institutions buying up Bitcoin as we have these sell-offs and whatnot and liquidations. Yeah, I mean, look, 150,000 sounded really high a few months ago. Now it's like that's low. We're only $40,000 away from that. So Bitcoin, in my opinion, it looks like, I mean, for me, just from the standpoint, it seems like with all just the macroeconomics and everything going on with the economy and just people talking about the dollar weakening and interest rates need to be modified and adjusted. Okay. Fiat, people are getting off of fiat and want to put their money in a so-called, safe haven retreat, Bitcoin like gold, where their assets are going to appreciate regardless of whatever economy they're in. Yeah, I mean, this thing can definitely blow up. I mean, look, I wouldn't be shocked at this point if Bitcoin has a massive run up towards the end of the year to $250,000 to $400,000, right? And then who knows, in a few months from now, could that be on the lower end, right? Crazy, but that's where we're headed. It seems like, man. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Shaman Crypto out.